All right. Thank you for your patience, everyone. So, if you haven't met her before, this is my friend Wendy Myers. Wendy Myers is a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner like myself and is the founder of MyersDetox.com and HarmonyPendant.com. She is a heavy metal detox expert and functional diagnostic nutritionist. So that she is the #1 best-selling author of Limitless Energy: How to Detox Toxic Metals to End Exhaustion and Chronic Fatigue. Wendy hosts the Myers Detox podcast about all things related to detox. She's passionate about educating people on the importance of EMF and heavy metal detox to live a long, disease-free life. So thanks for coming on, Wendy.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Well, we chit-chatted about this a minute ago before we came on, but just the whole idea of does EMF or electromagnetic frequency or 5G, which is rolling out with cell towers and stuff, is something that we should be concerned about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wanted to talk to you today about EMF and what it's doing to our bodies and some simple solutions for you guys, because I've focused on heavy metal and chemical detoxification for quite some time. But, when I find that people are wanting to detox, they have to reduce stress and they have to reduce stressors in their environment. Because if you're in this chronic stressed out state, you're not in that parasympathetic state, that rest, relax, digest, detox state that you need to be in to even get to the detox part. So I've been looking for solutions to help reduce stress, and we'll talk about some of those. But EMF it's a huge stressor in our environment, and it's electromagnetic fields. So there are these invisible frequencies that are emitted by our cell phone and our computers and Wi-Fi routers, and everywhere we go, our bodies are being inundated with these non-native frequencies that are like a jackhammer to our body's native frequency, like our brain waves, the waves our heart puts out, our body's like energy field. And we'll introduce some concepts that maybe some of you guys I've never heard of before, like the body's energy field and what that is and why it's important. But these EMFs are causing a lot of different health issues and stress, and it's something that people really need to be more aware of, and more aware of mitigating EMF in your home, around your body, because I assure you it's just growing. We'll talk about why EMF is growing more and more in our environment, and what you need to do to protect yourself.
So you said that computers are a source, cell phones are a source. It really wasn't that long ago that we started to have electricity inside our homes. I don't think really, like relatively speaking, in the history of humans. But now we have so many more devices. Or what else has like changed? I almost want to look up like when did we first have electricity in homes, but it really is a short timeline, and it probably was never any thought to how it affected our health in the beginning. And frankly, there still isn't much. So what has kind of changed over, this, I don't know, 100 years or whatever that we've had electric devices?
Yeah, well, there's been a slow introduction of different types of EMF. First we had, electricity, and then we had radio waves introduced with radio towers and invention of radio. And then we had, radar and sonar and things like that introduced in like the 50s and 60s. And then we had, at some point cell phones, and then more and more cell phone towers, and all that's 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G. We keep getting this new generation of cell phone kind of networks, because the telecommunications company, they make money when they invent new products, and they keep upgrading the network. They want you to buy new phones and buying more and more and more, the new. So they keep upgrading and changing it, so you're kind of forced to get new phones and devices and things like that. So yeah, and now we have the satellites that are going up, these really high frequency EMF satellites that are going up, and all the people like Elon Musk and Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, they're all kind of competing for the skies, and there's supposed to be 100,000 these satellites that are EMF emitting satellites that will be in our environment in the next 2 to 3 years, so that everyone on
Wow.
the planet will be able to get a cell phone signal. Because not everyone can afford a computer, but a lot of people around the world can afford a phone, and it kind of acts like a little computer. And so people want reception no matter where they are. So that's the solution, is in rather than laying out this infrastructure with cell phone towers, is these satellites. So this is coming. There's about 200 satellites that were launched this month alone.
Mm.
And so we need to be thinking about this as much as you think about your health with diet and supplements and exercise and detoxification. You need to add this. And so for me, it's something that I knew about it, but I just didn't really want to take the time to do anything. I'm like, there's just a lot to it. And where do I start, and what works and what's bogus? And, it's something I really just put on the back burner. So for me, I'm trying to clarify things and give you guys some really simple solutions and simple tips so that you can, start mitigating the EMF in your environment.
Yeah, I have a lot. Actually, I have a lot of questions. But one is like how some people are really feeling the effects of EMF, and some may not know that they're feeling it. So, what are some like symptoms and complaints that you're hearing about from clients, or as people do mitigate symptoms that alleviate?
Well, there's some interesting research that was done on 3G, not even 5G that's coming out right now, but the research was saying that 3% of people on the planet are completely debilitated from EMF.
Wow.
That's millions of people. So I know many people, go to doctors and they think it's an infection, or there must be a nervous system thing, or what have you. But some people are so sensitive, they're totally debilitated. So it's really important, if you know someone, or you are, unable to work and function, so you may be super EMF sensitive. For other people, there's a whole spectrum. Some people feel nothing. Also, some people are just not in touch with their bodies. Also, some
Yeah.
people are just very, for various reasons, just not their body. They're kind of numbed out and may not be aware of that. But and other people have a lot of EMF resilience because they're healthy and hydrated and grounded and all that stuff. But other people have headaches. They have trouble sleeping. They have anxiety and depression. They have heart palpitations. People can even have infertility issues. They can fatigue is a huge one, brain fog. And some people may notice these symptoms progress towards the end of the day as they've been on their computers all day long, and they have this Wi-Fi signal kind of, just hammering them all day long. And then when you're kind of, unfortunately, you have this EMF jackhammering your pineal gland and your mitochondria, you're not able to produce as much melatonin, and then in the evening you're not able to sleep as well. And the
Mm.
EMF also interacts and interferes with your brain waves, which you emit different brain waves when you're awake and when you're stressed and when you're sleeping. And so it really kind of confuses your body's circadian rhythms as well. And so there's lots and lots of other symptoms, but it's also just a mild stressor. You can just feel stressed all day long and release increased cortisol secretion, increased adrenaline, and that all this can parlay into weight gain and resistant weight loss as
Mm.
well. People can have blood sugar issues as well, because when your cortisol goes up, so does your blood sugar. And so there's implications in weight gain and diabetes as well. There's a tremendous amount of research out there. There's great books by Nick Pinot, Dr. Mercola, Dr. Ann-Louise Gittleman, lots of great info, Lloyd Burrell, lots of data and research to support what I'm saying with the symptoms.
Okay, yeah, that's really helpful. Yeah, I think this I mean, a lot of those things are chronic now, they're widespread, but I think that insomnia is really what jumped out at me because, yeah, I think it's just harder to calm down at night when you've been stimulated not only by Wi-Fi, but like then, if have your cell phone, awake, so to speak, you're getting little alerts and like news blips and stuff, and it's just stressful. So
Yeah.
that's it. So there's a lot going on that's in the new in our life nowadays. So you talked about, we're not going to get into too much the different G's, but from my sense of it is when they make these go from 3 to 4 to 5G, the waves are like closer together or more like drastic, or that's some of what I've heard. And then you've talked a bit about we have our natural brain waves and our natural rhythms. Can you just talk a little bit more about how it is a disruptor to the body's fields?
Yeah, so with each new generation, people like 3 to 4 to 5G, people want faster download speeds. I get totally annoyed too, and the movie's not playing, or like, where's my new post from Facebook? And everyone wants, they want instant gratification. And so what happens is you get these millimeter waves that they're coming faster. So they're just faster waves, and so they just kind of act like a jackhammer to your body. So it gets more and more intense for your body as these frequencies increase. And we've gone to 3G to 4G to 5G. And it was interesting. I went to Italy a couple of summers ago, and everywhere I went, there was a 3G network in like Italy and Greece. But then you come back to the United States, then the 5G had just rolled out, where I was. But, the bottom line is, these EMFs interfere in how our bodies work. And so a lot of people may not be aware of this, but we have an energy field that surrounds our body. And it's proven that our heart sends out a field 10 feet in diameter around us. And we, like I said, we emit brain waves. And this invisible field or matrix is where a tremendous amount of communication takes place in our body. And this is scientifically proven. So you can go do that research if you want. And so, and this field is getting information from our environment. It's getting light. It's getting like taking EMFs. You can feel other people's energy. You can feel their vibes. You can feel their negatives. Stay away. Creepy people, the hair rises on your, your skin. You feel all this stuff, whether you're aware of it or not. And some people are more kind of intuitive than other people. But the fact is, all this information is being sent to us in this energy field. And everything has a frequency. So every organ, the DNA throw off a frequency field. Everything you see has a frequency, and these frequencies can be measured. And so when you have these really high frequency EMFs just coming at your body, and they're really high frequency, it just disrupts this whole communication system. And that's why it's responsible for such a myriad, long list of every type of health issue that you can imagine, because it just interferes in dramatically in how our body functions. And unfortunately, there's no research on 5G at all. Zero.
Oh, wow.
Because it just kind of rolled out, and so the research is on 3G and 2G and before. So unfortunately, this stuff is being rolled out without any kind of safety testing or anything. So it's really up to you as the consumer to either move away into the country or to do things to mitigate EMF in your environment and in your body.
And this is one reason you moved out of country, right? Was because 5G concerns.
Well, it's one reason. I definitely live in a smaller town now. I wanted to live abroad, and I want to get away from the lockdowns, all the nuttiness and stuff, and the fear, like this collective fear that seems to really be gripping the United States. I don't think it's totally warranted. That's another conversation. But yeah, I wanted to live abroad, and Mexico. I live in Mexico right now in Playa del Carmen, and they definitely have internet, but it's not as densely populated. So there's definitely fewer Wi-Fi routers, and I definitely am sleeping better. You guys might notice this too, when you go out into the country and go camping, or I go onto my mom's ranch where there's nobody around for miles, I sleep so much better. Or when you go to a hotel where they have all of the wiring inside the walls are encapsulated and grounded, I would notice I would sleep so much better. And so I've just kind of noticed these things over the years. So I've just really gotten better about my energy hygiene and figuring out things that help to work to kind of protect my body and my body's energy field and my health ultimately.
Yeah. Before we get into the mitigation, I'll just ask one more question about health. So at the top of the interview, you said you have to be in this parasympathetic state to heal. And we had a question on the chat, like I'm sensitive to supplements, like I'm just sensitive. Like I know you've experienced that. I've experienced that with my clients. So I feel like this can be, a missing link. And stress comes in so many packages. And this is just one big old package. And I think if you're not getting better, or you kind of, this is what I say about detox in general, like if you feel like you're doing all the right things and you're still symptomatic and not doing better, look for sources of toxins, and this is one of them. So if you have tried supplements or this or that, but you haven't tried EMF mitigation, or you've done it minimally, perhaps you may need more. I find some people are very sensitive. Their brains are inflamed. Then the Wi-Fi is infecting them. So there are definitely people, like you said, it could be different for different people. But if you're one of those cases where you are experiencing a lot of these symptoms and you haven't tried it, it's something worth trying, right?
Oh yeah, I think anyone that feels chronically stressed, or they have health issues, or they have the food sensitivities and the supplement sensitivities, that's an immune system overreaction. That's an immune system problem. It's not a food problem. And so doing EMF mitigation is definitely a first step, because if your body is it what EMF does is it ungrounds your body. Your body is supposed to have this negative charge, and if you don't have a negative charge, your body isn't going to work. Okay. And this can be a very, very basic, fundamental thing that you want to address, because by grounding your body, it's going to enhance the effects of everything else that you're doing. So, like, say, when I'm working with clients, the first thing I want to do is ground their body. Do that. I do that in a few different ways, and that's part of that is EMF mitigation, hydration, some super, super basic things. And just doing that will help so many things. But that's a first step. But then you would also have to do things that, correct immune system functioning, like the person who has food sensitivities. I use something called the Nest Health Bioenergetic Program, and that's something I'll use to help people get grounded, but also it helps to feed correct information, correct operating instructions to the immune system. It works unbelievable for food sensitivities, because it's not the food. You can't avoid the food forever. You have to correct the immune system and stop it from overreacting to stimuli that it shouldn't be reacting to.
The response. Cool. So let me see if I don't know if you can screen share. I can screen share. Well, first you said you've tried a lot of things. You did research, because there are different devices we see, right? I saw recently like a hat that has EMF protection in it, and I actually have it right here, one of these boards to put your laptop on.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are like, well, I don't know if they work or not. Is there a way that you think it's best to kind of research if a thing works or not?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's, you can just go by, the companies if they have different studies and things like that. And there's also great resources. I've got all kinds of articles on my website, on myersdetox.com, for research-backed solutions for EMF mitigation. Nick Pinot also has a whole course on, I think it's called Electrosmog Fix. And that has all kinds of recommendations that I totally trust. He's got a great podcast too.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can go over some of the things that I've figured out over the years are really, really helpful. I've also developed a device myself, or with my team, that helps with EMF mitigation also. So the first thing I recommend is this Harmony pendant right here. And it's not so much an EMF mitigation device, but we did see in the study that we did with 100 people and 8 different doctors, that we showed on average that people had a 48% reduction in the stressful effects of EMF. And so that is really, really significant. And now that's after only wearing the pendant for 5 minutes. So we did this study where we did a baseline heart rate variability test, which is a measure of stress. And then we exposed people to a high EMF source, which was like this handheld fan that just put out this ungodly amount of EMFs, and then tested their HRV again. It totally tanked. We tested like 30 different variables too, like circadian rhythms, brain waves, chakras, meridians, all different types of variables. And then we noticed that all the variables tanked really, really low after exposure to the EMF. And we put the pendant on them, activated it. They were only wearing it 5 minutes. And the majority of people had a dramatic shift. They had a 700% improvement on average in their heart rate variability.
Oh, wow.
They improved over and above the baseline. They had a 160% improvement in their circadian rhythms. Like I mentioned for EMF, they showed a 48% improvement from the stressful effects of EMF. They had 530% improvement in their mitochondrial energy reserves. Some had 2000% improvement in some of their meridian energy flows. They had improvements in their chakra energy flow as well. Just really, really, I was really taken aback actually by the study results. And we have all the study results on the website. If you go on this page, we click the link below or in the chat. You can see all the different medical doctors and health influencers that endorse the pendant. You can see some results right here of the study that we did. And we also have over 1,000 reviews, which if you see this link right here on the left-hand side, it says reviews. You can read those. Literally there's 1,000 of them.
That's
and there's
awesome.
more on the page too. Yeah. And you can see all the different effects, the benefits that people have, report wearing the pendant, like they have improved sleep, they feel less stressed, they don't feel as tired and fatigued after being on the computer all day. They even have like aches and pains that go away as their inflammation in their body comes down. They just feel more relaxed and they have more energy and things like that. And, and some people don't feel anything, to be perfectly honest. Some people put it on and they're like, meh, they just don't, they just don't feel anything. And, but the doctors in the study said that even the patients that didn't report feeling any changes still had improvements in their heart rate variability, which is a measure of stress. So you don't always feel subtle changes and subtle improvements in your body. And some people also are they're not connected to their body for various reasons. People that have emotional trauma and things like that, or they just don't like feel their body so much as other people. But I do find that people that are EMF sensitive or energetically sensitive or empaths or whatever, they feel big changes. They really feel a difference when they put the pendant on.
Yeah, I noticed in a group that we're in, someone was asking for a suggestion about a few people say, I love my Harmony pendant. And I thought, oh, go Wendy, that's awesome.
Yes.
I don't know if I have the newest one because mine looks more like the Swiss cheese one. I don't think
the triangle.
Or it's like long with holes in it.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? I don't know. How did we miss that? We didn't send you a new one?
Was that called Harmony or did that have a different name?
It has a different name, but yeah, we redesigned it just so it's more appealing to people. Yeah, and we have a stainless steel. We have 18 karat gold plated and rose gold plated now.
Okay, yeah, no, that did not have. That wasn't. I'll have to get one. And there's a Valentine's special, right? I don't know if that's on this page.
Yeah, we even have Elle McPherson wearing it too.
I know, girl. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, she's posting it on Instagram all the time. It's awesome.
Really?
I'm like, go girl.
You look like a supermodel if you wear the pendant.
Yeah, but she's really sweet. She really likes that.
That's awesome. Yeah, and then we all, we're all being exposed, really, unless you live in a cabin in the woods. So, yeah, I love the new design. I want to try it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll send you one. I don't know how that got missed.
I think because there's been a few iterations, I was like, I guess I have the newest one, but no, this one's super cute. Let me see. I will stop sharing that because is there a different page for the Valentine's or is this the one for the Valentine? Is there like a Valentine's special or?
Yes. So you may have just deleted the banner because I do believe that's the right link.
Okay. Yeah. So it says what is the do you know the Valentine's deal? Should I?
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
just, it's $99 for the pendant. And then we have stainless steel and rose gold. And then if you buy a pendant, you get an offer for like the 18 karat gold also. So if you
Okay.
buy one and put
Okay.
it in your cart. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me see if I have any other link to share. I'll go share that in the, let's see here.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know if maybe we didn't get you the updated link. So sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. So,
But I just asked for it right now. So I'll post it in the chat as soon as I have it.
Well, this is the link we were just looking at, everybody, if you want to take a look at that one. I think we got a new question coming in. Wendy also has a free guide to EMF, so I will share that as well.
Yeah, the link, that guide is fantastic because that gives really outlines all very simple ways that you can mitigate EMF in your environment. And we can go over more of those tips right now too.
Yeah, a great way to get started. And one thing I love about the pendant is it's so easy. Like you just put it on, right? Do you still reset it every few weeks or whatever?
Yeah, so how it works is you activate the pendant. So you take it off and you put it about a foot in front of your chest, like your sternum. You put it about a foot from there, and then you just hold it there for a couple of minutes. And I'll say a little mantra, as intention, because intentions are very, very powerful. And I'll put, I command that my pendant be activated to my body's energy field and help to ground it and protect from EMF. And so I do that when I'm activating it. But then and that optimizes your body's energy field. So the holes in the pendant, everything, every frequency is dictated by geometry. That is how the world works. So if you have everything that has a frequency, that is dictated by geometry. So let me just repeat that. And so the geometry in the pendant sends new information, new frequencies to the body to clear it and to optimize the body's energy field. And that's essentially how it works. So it clears your energy field, it optimizes it. And in doing that, it kind of helps the energy field work more efficiently, communicate better. Things just kind of clear out of your field, trauma and things like that, EMF. And because you have reduced stress, you have more resilience from EMF or the stress that EMF causes. And you can feel it, as for me, when I first tried the pendant, I put it on, within 30 minutes, I was yawning. I got really, really tired, which I didn't love, but it was a sign that, I was going from the sympathetic state, stress state, to parasympathetic. And I was in a super stressed state when I first got introduced to the pendant about 4 years ago. I was just, just living in a moldy home and going through a divorce and single mom. And I didn't like my business partner. I wanted to break up with her too. And it was like a mess. And so I wasn't sleeping. But when I put the pendant on, it was really one of the most profound experiences I've ever had with any kind of health modality that I had done. And it's so simple. It's so easy. And so I took the guy who developed it a couple of years to convince me, but because I was like, really, this pendant does that. And it really kind of defied logic, but we entered into a study to prove that it did, because I felt the difference and there's just no denying it. So we did this study and we're able to prove, and there's 2 white papers on the website if you click the link. And so, and you can just read that for yourself. Okay, so I have the link here for you.
Okay, perfect.
So sorry about that.
Somebody asked about the EMF guide. I put that in the chat. If you're on a phone, sometimes you have to go to participants to find the chat, I find, so you might have to look a little bit, but the link is in there. We had a question about.
There, I just put that in there.
Oh, thank you. Perfect.
Yes, you can see
Yeah, okay,
that.
I'll open that up. We had a question, I don't totally know this company. What do you think about the QI products that generate negative ions?
Yeah, the key products are great.
Okay.
Yeah, and negative ions are amazing. I mean, there's lots of different things that generate negative ions. When you go into the ocean, it's all negative ions. When after it rains, that's tons of negative ions in the environment. That's why it feels good, and the energy feels different. And so there's lots of things, lots of products out there that emit negative ions. When you go walking on the ground, you absorb negative ions from the earth. And so, our bodies were kind of evolved over millions of years to take, ground with these negative ions on, on the ground, swimming in the ocean and things like that. That's why going to the beach feels so good. You're laying on the ground and swimming in the ocean. And so, yeah, the key technology is great. It kind of will flood your whole environment with negative ions, and that has a protective effect from EMF, but it works in a couple other different ways, but those are great devices.
Okay, cool. Well, I got to the checkout page, so I just wanted to show so it's helpful for people, because
That's
I want to
still
be like,
not the that's still not the right one.
not the Valentine's.
Yeah.
This is the 99 you mentioned, but we'll fix it because I'm going to put out the replay this weekend to our email list, so we'll get it. It doesn't say Valentine's. But we can take a look at the pendants here. I like to wear gold, so I think I would like to get a rose gold one, and I'm like very tiny, so I like to have a small one too. So
yeah, we have a large one and a small one just for. Oh, here we go. Okay, so my guy got me the wrong one.
Okay.
So here's the real Valentine's
making
Day
you really
page.
work
Gosh,
for it.
gosh.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, now let me go share this page. I'm not a big like Valentine's person, but I was like, oh, it's kind of cute because I know you've done some things about, buy one for your partner, buy one for your child, and I just think it's sweet to, again with kids, and you've got a little one too.
There we go.
That is clearly Valentine's.
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
limited edition rose gold. I'm gonna get.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because stress really affects your relationship. I mean, who doesn't know that? When you're stressed out, you're going to get more fights and just not be as connected. And so the pendant is interesting. It has an interesting effect when you wear one and your partner wears one, or you put it on your kids. You're just, things just flow more. You don't argue as much. You just, and I noticed this too when I first got a pendant and then I put one on my daughter. And we just had a lot better communication. We weren't bickering as much. And it sounds really weird, but when when two people are, their energy field is optimized and they're under less stress, they just get along better. And I think it's just a great sentiment. It's a great thing to give someone, your loved one, for Valentine's Day or any time. And also to have one on your kids. You can put one on your pets as well. And when you buy more than one, we give you guys a discount too.
Yeah, okay, so now we're getting the deals. Now it's good you stuck around. So now one is 82, two is 149, and if you want to do for your family, 280. So it's really fun. And yeah, you could sync them every week, together, and it's kind of a cool idea. When you were explaining geometry and that kind of a thing, it made me think, okay, we've got EMF and it's this like fast moving, like it's not found in the natural world, right? This kind of like wavelength. But then it's like almost like we can override it with this very harmonious kind of message. Is that sort of how I'm understanding it? Is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And you have to, when you first get a pendant, you have to, put it on your, a foot from your chest, and there are a couple of minutes, and then it kind of clears your energy field. And then every time you feel bad, or once a week, you want to repeat that process again, because things knock out your field. Like we have a high EMF exposure, you have an emotional trauma, like a fight with your partner, or just stress in general. And so you eat a food that you're sensitive to, that's a stressor, so that it just knocks you out. And so you want to be, optimizing every single week and doing that same process. But when you get a pendant, you get an email and a little card inside the box for the pendant that shows you like how to do all that. It's really simple.
Yeah, it's really easy. Yeah, and I've been really into studying how to get into parasympathetic more for healing because in my own history, I'll just share a couple of things. Well, one, when I look back at my history, Wendy, of like when I got started to be sick, the first time I ever had Wi-Fi I was living in a little apartment and about to open a clinic, so it was a lot of stress, and it was the first time I started not sleeping well. And then I moved into a moldy house that had Wi-Fi the whole time. So, I've always wondered how much of a role Wi-Fi played in that. And we do know that it does affect mold growth and that kind of a thing. There's some research on that now. Um, and then, I had I was a little bit like you. I had a new baby, new business, just a lot going on. So I just thought, well, I'm just stressed. But I also had these internal stressors or invisible stressors of the Wi-Fi and the mold. So I kind of got in this anxious state that I thought was just like my personality or whatever. And only recently have been doing some work with neurotransmitters and adaptogens. And I'm just like, oh, I could be like this calm, like things just kind of roll off me and I'm not worked up all the time. And I was just like, wow, I really think it was affecting my brain and my ability to heal at the same time. So, you talked about going to the beach, and there's a lot of things we can do to put ourselves in a more restful state. And it's not just like, I don't know, a public service message. We all know we should be less stressed, but you really just like, you can't really heal and function properly when you're in that sympathetic dominant
Yeah,
state.
and
So,
yeah, and a lot of people know they need to reduce stress. Like they've heard that message a million times, but you can't. It's not enough to just go to a yoga class or go for a walk or even do grounding on the earth. I mean, there's too many factors working against that. There's too much EMF working against kind of grounding and things that people talk about all the time and recommend. And I think you need more than that to mitigate EMF or to correct the damage that EMF is doing, but every little bit helps. But even the pendant is the harmony pendant's not 100%, but it dramatically helps to reduce stress tremendously. And you if you have an Aura ring or any kind of HRV measuring device, I dare you to start measuring it. Get your averages and your feel for what your HRV is, and then get a pendant and just test for yourself and put the pendant on and then test your HRV every day after that, and you'll see this dramatic improvement in your HRV. So don't take my word for it. And but I think also people there, like I said, there's so much EMF and so many different types of stressors that they have a hard time reducing stress. They have a hard time getting a handle on it.
yeah.
And so this pendant is just an easy way to reduce stress. It's an easy way to begin EMF mitigation. It's like I said, it's a 48% on average helps with the stressful effects of EMF, but it's not 100%. Nothing's 100%. So it's just the beginning. You still need to mitigate EMF in your environment, and there's a lot of different ways to do that. And this guide, if you don't want to download this guide, there's a lot of different ways and tips in the guide that can help you, on the way to do that.
Okay. Brandy was asking, could you put the pendant on a different type of chain?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, you can take off the chain and you can put it just in your purse if you want. You can put it on a bracelet if you prefer. Anything is fine.
Okay, so here's the guide, and I have the link in the chat and in the Facebook. So that's where it looks like. Any other tips you just want to share top of mind, Wendy?
Yeah, so the phones emit a ton of EMF. So if you have your phone, and I get it, we're all addicted to our phones. We use them for 1,000 different things. So if you're just sitting around with your phone, just keep it 3 feet away from you. So distance is really important. So if you can keep the phone or other electronic devices as far away from your body as possible, at least arm's length, that will make a huge difference compared to having it right next to you or having it in your pocket or in your
Awesome.
purse,
Okay.
almost right on your body. Don't charge your phone next to your head at night or you're sleeping. charge it in another room, because that charging emits a lot of like dirty electricity, which is an EMF. Don't charge your computer while you're using it. Also, if you can hardwire your computer, that saves you 8 hours a day, 40, 50 hours a week of reduced EMF exposure. I mean, that's massive. There's Wi-Fi routers you can get. It's called the JRS Eco router that will turn off when it's not in use, and it just
That's
turns off
cool.
automatically. Yeah, it's really neat. And so,
What's it called again? JRS?
yeah, the JRS Eco wireless router. So
Okay.
if you don't want to hardwire, and you have all these people in your house and the kids, and they don't want to hardwiring is best. But if they don't want to do that, you can get this JRS Eco, and it just it's not on or emitting a signal if no device is actively searching for a signal.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I have my router on a Christmas timer, so just at least at night it's not on. And the phone is a super easy one. There's a couple questions that I missed here. So yeah, it does have holes in it, right? It's what I was asking. Yeah,
those are the geometry. That's the geometry that's sending different information to your body field.
And then someone is asking the materials that they are made out of. So you talked about the plating. What's the inside?
Yeah, so it's made of 100% hypoallergenic stainless steel. It's nickel free, so it doesn't have any metals that you're gonna have allergies to. And then we also have 18 karat gold plated, yellow gold and rose gold also. And they have a coating over them, so you're not gonna be like absorbing the metals like through your skin or anything like that.
Okay.
So I'm into heavy metals. I'm a heavy metal detox.
Yeah, really?
So I'm not gonna.
That's a good point.
I'm not going to be giving something that's going to be, toxic to people.
Yeah, that's a great point. BJ was asking using it weekly versus daily. He uses one just in the day, but this is something you're supposed to wear all the time, right?
Yeah, you only have to wear it a few hours a day because it optimizes your body's energy field. And so that's where the positive effects come from. So you don't have to wear it like every waking hour.
I wear it all the time.
I wear mine all the time. I mean, I just love it. I mean, it's a pretty piece of jewelry. I don't wear a lot of jewelry, so this is just like my little piece of jewelry that I wear, but I don't wear it when I sleep. You don't need to do that. But I have some clients, like their husband won't wear one, so they just like sneak it under his pillow at night. Or like their kids, like the kids, like they lose them or they won't wear one. You just put it under their pillow with the little like circle icon facing away from their body. And that'll do it. So you don't have to wear it 24 hours a day. Just a few hours a day is sufficient.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Yeah, I love the new one. It's really cute. I mean, the Swiss cheese one.
Yeah, it needed some work. There's an old version that I used to, I met the founder of it, and I was, helping market that one. But then we're like, you know what? That's like, it's for men. He's a guy, so that it appeals to guys. So I wanted to make one that was more appealing to women and men as well.
That makes sense. Yeah, I like the bigger one for guys, and I hope some guys would be open to it. Awesome. I'm really excited. Go ahead.
Yeah, but there's no difference in effectiveness. It's just the sizes are just for preference. So there's no difference in their effectiveness or anything like that. It's a common question.
I'm really excited about the new designs. You can sell me on any jewelry. EMF jewelry if it looks good.
I'll send you one.
Well, I'll go order one. I'm just excited there's more options. So yeah, I didn't know about all this. So awesome. So Wendy also has a podcast. She's got a great site. I send people, I don't specialize in heavy metals, so I send people articles from your blog all the time if they're like, I have aluminum or I have this. So she's a fantastic resource. Is it myersdetox.com?
Yes.
Right? Okay. And this Valentine's special is through this Sunday? Or when?
No, it's actually will go through the end of the month. So it's the whole month of February. But yeah, I know there's only a few days until Valentine's Day. But if you order today, it will ship out today.
Great.
We are shipping until 6 p.m. Pacific, and 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you order one, it will ship out today, and it might get to you by then. But it may not. It's a little bit late. But yeah, the special is going on till the end of the month.
Perfect. Awesome. And just for everybody watching, we're doing 3 Facebook Live expert series today, just kind of in honor of our summit going on. So in 8 minutes, we're talking about food sensitivities. Actually, we talked a bit about that today with the Kaplans. And then an hour from now, we're talking about the Biocidin suite of products. They're one of our sponsors for the summit. They've got a great throat spray that you might want to know about. It's a pretty popular product. They've got a binder that's pretty popular. So we'll have someone from that company talking in 2 hours. And just at the same link in a little bit, we'll be talking about the question of food sensitivities. It's not the food, as you just learned. It's not the food, it's you.
Yeah. It's not me, it's you.
Thank you so much, Wendy. It was really informative, and would love to hear people's feedback if they do get the pendant. Again, it's so easy to use and it's cute. She sold me on it, and it's really pretty affordable. Actually, it's about the price of one supplement if you think about it, and it lasts like forever. So
yeah, and there's 100% money back guarantee. If you're not happy, you're like it's just not resonating with you, at any time you get your money back, so that there's really no risk. Yeah.
Wow.
But one thing to be aware of is when people get the pendant, they feel the improvements, you start habituating to it. So you might at some point, I made this mistake too, you might at some point think, oh, it's not really working, I don't feel anything, but that's because you've habituated to it. And this happens with every modality that you're using. You work out for a month, you habituate to that workout, and you don't feel it as much. You don't feel challenged by it. So just be aware of that. It is working, even if you don't feel it, but we'll give you your money back if you're not happy.
Yeah, I think I had even thought, oh, maybe it's making me feel a little bit more symptomatic, but maybe my immune system was just getting stronger. So if you have chronic stuff, it doesn't sound like that's very common. It might have just been a wave I was going through. It actually will be interesting for me to try now because my health is in a lot different place than probably the first rendition of this. So
yeah, and it's interesting. Sometimes when you're getting really relaxed and going into the parasympathetic mode, you start detoxing, and so sometimes people don't feel well because of that. But it's a good thing. It's just your body is starting to regulate better. But sometimes the net effect is you don't feel that great. But it's not the pendant making you worse. Okay.
Yeah, right. There's nothing toxic in the pendant.
No, there's no negative effects.
Yeah, and Barbara, or I think somebody asked, so I'll be back in 5 minutes, and then I get back again in an hour and 5 minutes. It's the same exact link. I'll just close this so that we can kind of.
All right, thanks so much, Bridget.
Nice talking to you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thanks for being here.